Welcome Sagittarius to your 2024 yearly reading. What we have here is one card for each of the months for 2024. So each card is going to give you an idea of what you're going to be dealing with through the year for each month. So here we have January. January, you start off with the Death card. February, you have the Eight of Swords. March, you have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. April, you have the Strength card. May, you have the Ten of Swords. June, the Two of Pentacles. July, the Empress. August, High Priestess. September, the Five of Wands. October, the Emperor. November, the Judgment card in reverse. And finally, in December, you have the Five of Swords. All right, let's get started with January. So I'm looking at January, and I see that you start off with the Death card. And this particular card, if you look at it, there's this skeleton figure walking through. And at the bottom on the ground are all these people that seem to be lying there dead. And so he's walking through, corpses, and it is quite a gruesome card, but it really is significant on your healing journey in that this card is here to remind you, and it's a major arcana card, and it's here to remind you that on your healing journey, and even as you go through life, and there's sometimes that are things that you just have to let go. And in this particular card, it looks like there are people that you're having to let go. And sometimes there are friends that for some reason you're just finding that they're just not driving with you. It's not the same. It's changing. Things are changing, and a lot of times you're not sure whether it's, you that's changing, they're changing, but the relationship is just not the same. So I'm seeing that there are people around you, or maybe things around you. Could be habits you have, sometimes addictions maybe that you're just letting go of. So there's something in January that you're finding that you're going to be letting go of, whether it's people, things, something along this journey that's ending. And maybe that's why, because of what's going on with you in January, of letting people go, letting things go in your life, you're hitting the Eight of Swords, because the Eight of Swords is someone that is just really tied up in their head. They can't see a way out, because there's just so many mental constrictions, so much mental activity going on, as far as, it could be questions like, why did I do this? What's going on with my life? Where am I going to go now? Or who am I going to be now? And they're just so tied up in your head. And if you notice at the bottom of this card right here, there's these puddles of water. So, water signifies a lot of times our emotions. And so the emotions are very stagnant. They're very stuck here, because this person is not at all in their body. They're very much stuck in their head. They actually think they can't see a way out, but they can. They can walk away, right? But they've put this boundary, this big wall around them, and they feel like they're all tied up, and they feel like they can't get out of this. So I see February as being a month for you where you're just really, really up in your head, feeling like you're not seeing a way out of something. March comes around, and this is the Nine of Pentacles we have, and And the Nine of Pentacles in the upright position is really a card of, abundance. And sometimes, a lot of times it's related to our work and what we're doing in life and our projects we're doing. And so I'm seeing that, normally, you've committed a lot of time to what you've been doing. You've might have been doing a lot of overtime, but you're just really committed and committing a lot of time to your job or a project you're doing, or there's something that's taking up a great deal of your time, whatever it is. And this has come in reverse for you, because I think now you're realizing, it's bringing in a lot of abundance for me, but there's something here that's making you feel kind of stuck in your life, that maybe there's been a change to your abundance situation, where now it's kind of, you're not, the same activity isn't going on, whatever was happening with you. So there's some sort of a change, there's some sort of a block, there's some sort of a resistance sometimes to this abundance that could come in for you, or that has been coming in for you, and there's been a change to it somehow. So in April, because of it sounds like, you're starting off sort of rough, like your first few months are sort of, months where I think you're kind of going to be scratching your head and going, is how my whole year is going to start off? And so it's really nice to see that finally in April, you're going to be, getting some strength somewhere. So I mean, you're at a point where when it comes to April, where you're thinking, wow, I don't know what way to go. I'm sort of done with everything, and you finally get the strength to just pick yourself up from these tough 3 months that you've been through. And this next card really shows me, again, another month of just finally, I'm kind of done with what's been going on at the beginning, for the beginning of this year. And there's just been so many mental anguishes that you've been dealing with, and you're feeling like, you're done, you've had enough. And I think it's really, really set you back. Even though you've had the Strength card, you're still not feeling yourself. And so you realize by the mid-year that, maybe I need to make some kind of a decision. I need to make some new decision. Like, it's maybe you're wanting to take your life in a new direction. Maybe, there's something to do with your job that you need to change up, your living situation. Something needs to change because of how difficult a period has been in the first bit of 2024. Now, this particular juggler knows that there is a choice that needs to be made. And, he's juggling, but he's very, very unbalanced here. And so in order for that decision to be made, because we see here this lemniscate tells it that there's so many options out there for you. I mean, right now you're seeing that there's just so many choices, and you're not sure what to do because it looks like you're really confused. So June might be a time where you're just, realizing that you have to do something, and you're sitting on it and not quite sure which way to go here. And you're feeling quite unbalanced until, I think what comes in here for July for you is the Empress. And the Empress cards is, first of all, she's a major arcana card. So she is the second half to the feminine energy that we have in our major arcana. And the other half is the High Priestess that comes next. So it's quite incredible that you have these two side by side. in your reading, right? Normally they're the other way around, but that's okay. This is the feminine part of us, and every single one of us has this feminine aspect to ourselves. We have a feminine and a masculine part. Gender has nothing to do with it. And so these two together form the feminine aspect of ourselves that is very much repressed in society. But they've come upright for you, both of them. So let's deal with one of them. So at a time. So July says the Empress comes up, and the Empress reminds us that, there's a part of you, the feminine part of you, that is very, very creative, that is very, very intuitive, that knows there's a time to really slow down in our life. Sometimes we need to isolate from a lot of people, and maybe you've started to do that already with this January card that's come in, where you've said, maybe have, gone your parted ways with some people. But the Empress card says, this is a time for you to really create something for you. This is a time to do something for you. And in order to figure out what that is, because I can see that you're struggling, right? From June, you were really struggling with this decision right here of what you wanted to do with your life, maybe. And the Empress, it's not a surprise here that these two have come in. It's incredible that they've both come in here, because this feminine aspect really wants to come out with you in the last part of 2024 and wants our creativity, or wants you to get in touch with your intuition to make your decision. And the way that we get in touch with our intuition, this is our intuition right here. And she is our highest wisdom. She is our inner guidance. And the way that we get in touch with our inner guidance to find out what our next step is to go inwards, right? Is to get back in our body, get in touch with our emotions, get in touch with our desires and what we really, really want for ourselves. And both of these cards are telling us to go inwards, get in touch with our feminine aspect, and to ground. That is how we get in touch with our intuition. That is how we get back into our body, is to start grounding, to start journaling, to find out exactly where we want to go, so that it's an intuitive decision and not one that's just taken really quickly and not much thought. And the next card that comes out for you in September is the Five of Wands. So it's very interesting that this card is coming up for you right now, especially after this real feminine side of us wants to come out, because whenever we start to actually want to do something new for ourselves, whether it be a new project, a new job, a new partnership, a new, it could be almost anything that you want to do different for yourself that you've been wanting to do, and it's kind of been on the back burner, and might be something very different, very unique. You might not even get people to support you. And a lot of times when we start to do something like that, we sort of check out what other people are doing. Sometimes we can go online and we check out, what's this person doing? For example, when I started this tarot channel, I went online and I checked out other tarot. I had been following other tarot readers before, but I went online and I started comparing myself to others. And because, that's that part of us that's going to try to pull us back down when we start to compare ourselves. So your ego can really come out here and start to tell you that, you're not good enough, or you can't do this, or, because, and that's what's going to happen here when you start to really dig deep and go inside and start to get in touch with your intuition. You're going to come up with a lot of ideas, but you're also going to have your ego bashing you, going, no, this isn't for you. No, you can't do this. This is stupid. Because I see that this next card that's coming out for you in October is the Emperor card. And look what you got. You got the Emperor, the Empress, the High Priestess. Wow. Major changes for you in 2024 coming out, in the Judgment card next. So many major arcana for you. Like, you start off, your year starts off really difficult, but Wow, what a bang you're going to end it with. So the Emperor card for me is, this old figure here who's sitting on this stone chair that's been sitting there for so long, and he's been there for so long that he's actually turning into the chair. I mean, look at him. And this is like, to me, this represents, the emperor for me represents the rules of society. The rules of society will tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that, or it's a stupid idea to leave your job and to go and do something that's very creative, and because that's not going to make you any money, or just the whole thing of wanting to do something for yourself. Well, no, we can't be, that's kind of selfish, we're not allowed to do that. And so that's going to come out, that masculine aspect will come out all the time. And that's kind of like, these two go hand in hand. These two, it's very interesting here because I see these two are as the two opposing forces to what you want to do with these two cards right here, right? This is our feminine creativity and intuitive decisions wanting to come out in this last part of the year for you. And then you're going to be hit hard with your own self-worth and comparing yourself. Your ego's going to compare yourself to other people, and society's going to say, no, maybe, even like if you're a female listening, well, that's not something that a female would do, or, even a male, that's not something that a male could do. So things that society has told you for so long, that's going to come out as well, just to try to stop you in your tracks. And so the Judgment card is next. That's going to come out for you in November. And the Judgment card is in reverse. The Judgment card is a call. There's this angel calling. And look at these people right here on this picture. They're being reborn, right? They're coming out of their coffins. They're being reborn. I have another deck they call this the awakening, right? You're awakening. You're coming aware that the universe is kind of calling you to do something, right? So this makes a lot of sense because you're feeling this big change in you with these two, this Empress and this High Priestess coming out for you. You're feeling the call. It's there. But wow, is it blocked, right? It's really blocked for some reason. And you just can't get to it for some reason. You hear the call, you're hearing the nudge, you're wanting to follow it. But there's some resistance from you that you don't want to carry on with it. And it really makes sense that December is saying, here's the last card for you. And it's the Five of Swords, and this is a change. It's a big change for you. So December is going to be that month where, there's some change coming in here for you, because if you look at this card carefully, right at the back, there's this individual that's holding his face, and he would be the one, he's putting his hands on his face, and that would be the one that the victim of all of this, the one that's really feeling the pain, right? And this could be you. This could be someone that is really feeling a lot of pain, I'm seeing, because of this card right here that's come up, where you're really battling with your self-worth and wondering if, you're meant to do this. And you're really battling with the Emperor that's come out and saying, no, it's not really, you shouldn't do this. You're not allowed to do this. And you're struggling. You hear the call. But there's a lot of resistance here, and a big part of that resistance is your self-worth. A big part is your self-worth, because that little card, the man in the back there, that little man, he feels like a little man. He's full of shame. He's full of unworthiness. He really needs, to really get in touch with his emotions. And who told you? If I look at this Emperor card here, who was the one? And sometimes this can be like a father figure, a parent in our life, or somebody that told you that maybe you just weren't worthy enough, that you can't do this for some reason. You're not allowed to. So It's really going to be a year I see where you struggle at the beginning, you pick up some strength in the middle, and you're ready to get involved in something else with your life, whatever it is, some change you want to make. But there's a real block here to doing it, and it has a lot to do with your unworthiness and what other people have told you about yourself. And so it is going to be a year where you really get in touch with who you are. And that means going inwards and, finding out who the real you is and really digging deep and start to ground and start to journal. And so this year I feel is really about finding you and putting you first. So good luck this year, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.